Hi, I'm Chris. I play guitar for the band that lives and breeds. I'm going to be showing you our guitars, our setups, and pretty much how we do everything live. And first I'll show you my guitars. I got two Ibanez's. My first one right here is a Ibanez RG470 FX. It's a really old one, obviously 94 being the first model ever that the RG series ever had the hardtail bridge, because everything before that had the floating bridge. And this one actually has replacement DiMarzio in there in the bridge and the two stock pickups, because I don't really have any issues with the way they sounded for leads and other stuff over here, but definitely the stock pickup was a little bit too weak for, you know, like the heavy rhythms and everything else like that. And as you can see, we have it kind of customized. This guitar was originally blue, you could probably see it in there, but over, you know, it was shaved down and sanded and all that stuff, and to like looks like the primer coat, and then eventually we put silver on it to match our theme with the band, with the silver paint and everything else like that. And us being like the Silver Knights or whatever you want to call it. Usually I use the DiMarzio. I would say 90% of the time, usually tone and volume at 10, 100%, and very rarely, sometimes in certain solos, I want to get a little bit of a warmer tone, I'll go and pop it up and use that neck pickup right there if I want to get that nice, smooth, like beefier tone, like kind of if I'm playing stuff like up here. But most of the solos I kind of stick up here, and I actually kind of like the brighter sound of this DiMarzio pickup right over here. For strings, we use usually Ernie balls. Right here I got the skinny top, heavy bottom by Ernie Ball, and this guitar is my C-sharp, drop C-sharp guitar, so it fits perfectly for what we do over there with this guitar. This is a 2006, it's a Prestige. It's obviously the Team J-Craft, as you can see, and the Team J-Craft is very special. It's like I would say everyone always raves it's the best factory in Japan for old Ibanez guitars. And this one is actually modded, and I originally had two humbuckers here. I bought this used, and the way the person previously had it set it up, I just really digged. I kind of like how he had one single coil up here and he put in a Seymour Duncan down here. And the cool thing about this guitar, he took out the tone knob and he put in a coil tap switch, so I could go and with this humbucker right here turn it into a single coil and really get that kind of more of a Strat-like sound out of this guitar, which is flicking the switch up. With this guitar, this is mostly my drop B flat guitar, so it's a lot of like the, you know, kind of like heavier songs I would say it's mostly played this guitar. And the strings I use for this one are the Ernie Ball Beefy Slinkies. The Beefy Slinkies, you know, to be honest with you, I don't know, most people I would say might prefer something a little bit heavier, but I like how I play a lot of leads, so it has like a kind of looser feel, so when I do bends and everything else like that, it just feels perfect in a way. And this has the Gibraltar bridge, which actually is just such good quality. It feels great, and it just, I don't know, as far as the quality, I would say the Prestiges are probably my favorite when it comes to Ibanez.
Hey guys, it's Anthony. I am the guitar player for Lives a Breeze, and this is my main guitar I use. It's a PV Nitro. It's actually a pretty, it's one of those sleeper guitars from the 80s. You know, something that you'd probably find at a pawn shop for like $100, but you know, it's got just one pickup. It's a mystery pickup. Whoever had the guitar prior put something else in it, and I'm actually not even sure what it is. But it sounds really good. It literally has one volume knob, which I always just use it as like a kill switch if I don't want any feedback. It's either 100% or 0%. It has it had a floating bridge, but I actually put a block in it in the back because I move around a lot, and I don't really need that whammy or anything like that. I took out all like the locking up here just so the strings can kind of be a little bit more free, and you know, since this isn't floating around, I didn't want to deal with any kind of you know, tuning issues or anything like that. Yeah, so I use Ernie Ball skinny top heavy bottom. This is my C-sharp guitar. We play in C-sharp and B flat. you know, I just really like it. I like the way that they feel. It's a little tight. But yeah, I love the neck on this guitar. I love the way that the strings are set up. You know, just I really like the way that this one plays. So it's definitely one of my favorite touring guitars. All right, so this guitar is a Schecter Blackjack ATX. It originally was this cream color right here, but along with Chris's guitar, I put tape on it to make it silver. I did this a while ago. I've actually had this guitar. I bought this when I first joined at Lizard Breeze. So the purchase I made before I went on the first tour with the Lizard Breeze, and I've been touring with it ever since. It's been through a lot. I have done some damage to this guitar, as you can kind of see. I've done some work. The fretboard came off. Like all the tuning knobs are all like crooked and stuff like that. It's pretty bad, but you know, I've redone this like a billion times, glued it, taped it. You know, like I said, this thing's been through the mill, but you know, it's lasted me this long, and you know, it's kind of like my baby, so I can't really get rid of it. So, but it has active Seymour Duncan blackouts. I'm not a huge fan of active pickups. Somewhat can be inconsistent. Where the PV Nitro I just showed you guys, that has one passive pickup, and these guys are active. So there is a little bit of like a gain change when I switch guitars. Yeah, so I use beefy slinkies for this guitar. It's my drop B flat. You know, just kind of like your standard size for when you're playing in you know, that low of a tuning. So pretty standard. All these are just tone and then volume. I normally have this guy set to this is set to my neck pickup, which I always pretty much just have off. That way I can use it as a kill switch. I had to turn this thing around because when I was playing, I would constantly flick it up and turn my guitar off while playing. So I had to switch it out. That way I didn't do that, and I had to take the little thing off so I wouldn't do that. I tend to cut myself when I do have to use it, but it's worth it. My tone's all the way up, and yeah, like I said, off, 100%, kill switch, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, I never really use my my neck pickup unless I'm like, you know, at home trying to get a certain sound. But yep, this is the Blackjack. Hey guys, due to the venue that we're playing today, we had to backline all of our gear, so we're not actually able to physically be at the rack to show you our rig. But we're just gonna kind of talk about it and let you guys know what we're using. To start from the top, we're using a Furman power conditioner, just like your standard power conditioner that obviously power pretty much everything that's in the rack. It's a huge rack, so we actually have one on the top, and then in the back we have another one powering you know, other things, just to get multiple power sources. And then right below that we have both his and my Pod HD Pro. We both run those with no head, just 100% through that with a power amp. And we run those straight to the cabs. We have, you know, we have those running through a Rocktron Velocity 300, which we split, put it in stereo, so it's 150 watts per channel, or per guitar.
The Pod HD Pros, we turn off the cabinets, pretty much are in there, so basically we get that pure cabinet tone that we get. Basically, with the light boxes in the cabinet I built, I put in English greenbacks and vintage 30s for the speakers, so we really get that true tone out of those speakers without any processing. So we run the Mesa Boogie emulated sound that's in the Pod HD Pro, so it literally sounds pretty similar to like a dual or triple rec. We've had those before, and once we got the Pod HD Pros, we were very happy with how it sounded like compared to the actual thing.
Yeah, very clean too. I was pretty resilient as far as going completely digital. Even while he did it for probably like over a year, I still had a Mesa, and I would have the Pod. I would run it as an effects loop, but then running just the Pods with the Rocktron, it's just a world of difference as far as like a clarity and just like the good signal. You don't get any kind of hum. It's just super quiet, super consistent, and super reliable. So after the Rocktron, we have a I think it's a 2-space rack drawer. That's where we keep pretty much anything and everything that we would need on stage. A bunch of random cables. We have a bunch of picks just lying around everywhere in there. Batteries, hopefully. And as far as pedals, I personally have just like an extra cord blackout tuner, I think it's called. Just as far as like if we needed like, you know, an extra tuner somewhere. Next to that is a MXR, what is it called again?
Oh, it's a M80.
Yeah, MXR M80. It's comparable to the Sans amp. We use that as like our bass rig. Sounds great. You actually, personally, I think it's a little bit better than the Sans amp. You have a lot more control. There's a lot more versatility you can get out of that as opposed to the Sans amp. It also has a noise gate as well, so it's kind of like a kill two birds with one pedal. Yeah, I personally just run a Line 6 wireless. It's digital. I know he runs the Sony.
Yeah, the Sony wireless, and same thing. It's digital and it runs great.
Yeah. So after the drawer, we have our singer's in-ears, which we have in the rack, but most of the time I'll either give it to the sound guy or just leave it on stage, and he'll give me a cable as far as giving him like a monitor. Super important, you know, depending on what venue you're playing, to make sure that your singer has good monitoring. You know, you don't want to go on a huge long tour and your singer's blowing out his voice on like the first couple days, just trying to hear himself. So very important to have in-ear monitors as a singer. We have that in there, and then right after that we have the bass rig, which is a Ampeg SVT3 Pro, I think. And that, like we mentioned prior, that is running straight into the MXR, vice versa, the MXR and then the Ampeg. So.
And then we run no cab on stage. We literally just go direct into the house, just from the SVT3 Pro.
Yeah, no need for the big fridge 8x10 Ampeg everyone has. So it's carrying a lot less weight on us.
Hey, thanks for watching us show off all our gear.
We had a great time showing you guys everything. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Just hit Lives at Breeze right on Facebook. We also just released an album a couple months ago called Silver Nights. You can pick that up on iTunes. Again, just search It Lives at Breeze. We're all over the internet, so if you Google it, you'll see us right there. So It Lives at Breeze, Silver Nights. Check it all out. See you later.